This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Hi everyone, I am doing a Wilds of Eldraine draft. So, our Mythic really isn't that great in Limited. I mean, it has a, removal spell on one side that's like passable, but then the other side only works alongside some specific cards. It's just overall not that good. I mean, it's always worth playing because it has removal on one side and the other side can do a thing, but it's not really worth first picking. Although this pack isn't exactly strong. You know, these blue uncommons have both been a little less than impressive overall. So we're really looking at commons, I think. Hopeful Vigil's really great. It works well with a lot of synergy in the set. Minecart Daredevil's pretty good. Cooped Up has been quite nice. I mean, as underwhelming as this pack is, it's kind of worth considering the Virtue. Just because the other options just aren't that good. I'm just going to take it. I haven't played with it yet. There wasn't anything in that pack that was completely insane that I feel bad about not taking. And if, this can work, especially well if you pick up the Catapult that does 1 damage, excuse me, at a time to your opponent. Taken by Nightmares is a nice removal spell. These 3 more blue cards that aren't especially good. Yeah. Witch's Mark, Sweet Tooth Witch, Taken by Nightmares. These have all been pretty good. I like Into the Fake Court a reasonable amount too. I think I'm just going to take the removal. Okay, so Shrouded Shepherd is quite good. Whether, if you can cast both sides, it's great. Even if you can't, it's pretty good. Hopeless Nightmare has been pretty nice. Brave the Wilds has Gingerroot. I think we probably take the Shepherd. I mean, we can splash it, splash white to cast it, or black. You can splash one or the other and be pretty happy with it because both sides are pretty good. You do kind of want to be able to cast both, but other than that, it works out reasonably well. Sadly, this Knight of Doves has not... Sadly, Knight of Doves has not really delivered. It has a cool build-around effect, but basically everything that gives you something when an enchantment goes to the graveyard hasn't been that good. So I'm looking at Grand Ball Guest and Voracious Vermin. They're both nice, fairly aggressive creatures. This one, if we end up in black-red, is really good. It's a little less good outside of it, but still pretty good. And Grand Ball Guest is just a great 2-drop in a format where 2-drops really matter. It's one of them. I guess I'll take the Guest. Makes it more likely we can play our Virtue, so... Okay. Got some pretty nice stuff here. Belligerent of the Ball, Pie Wielder, Red Cap Thief. These have all been pretty good. The Thief enabling Celebration and helping you fix your mana is really nice. The Belligerent is a pretty good payoff for when you do celebrate. Archon's Glory is a nice trick. So, looks like red-white is reasonably open. I think I'm going to take the Belligerent. Okay. So, Frolicking Familiar is quite good. I mean, this is another one where you can kind of get away with just splashing the blue side and playing it mostly for the other side. It's not amazing, but it does work with Virtue of Courage if we do 1 to our opponent with it. Cheeky House Mouse and Grabby Giant are both pretty good as well. Might just stick with red. This giant fixes and stuff, so decent body. Yeah, we'll take Minecart Daredevil here. Card that I like in general, so happy to take it this late. Alright, white cards. None of them are especially good, but neither is Kindled Heroism. I could cut the red card just to cut the red card, because none of these have been great. I mean, I think the Clothier is an okay thing to have around. I guess it's what I'll take. Alright, I will take another Daredevil. Right now, we're not good enough at going wide. Like, if it was looking like we're going to be black-red for sure, I'd take Crescendo, but it does not look that way. So, yeah. The Hopeful Nightmare still being there was interesting. We're definitely red. Red is very open to get that many. You know, we got 2 late Daredevils. Our second color is a lot less clear, but that's an okay problem to have, I guess. All right. Well, if we're going to get a last, like second to last pick Pie Wielder, I'd say white's probably open enough. Of course, I say that, and then we get Twining Twins, which are just a great card, and we're still not that locked in on a second color. So I may just take it here. It doesn't matter that much if we can cast the other side, frankly, on this one. I mean, we'd like to be able to, and it's not that hard to pick up some fixing that lets you do it sometimes. But yeah, it's definitely what we take. There's not really anything good in this pack for our... I mean, the Slinger's okay, but I don't like the Battle Garb or the Guide or the Reindeer in the end. None of those have really been great. I mean, the Guide's okay. It's better than the other two, but we're going to take the Twins and see what happens there. Well, that's interesting. She is an insane tap payoff, but right now we have 0 cards at tap. And red is definitely our dominant color, so the idea of like trying to splash her seems silly. Okay, so interestingly here we have Ash, who is a really good red-white signpost uncommon. I also like Embereth Veteran. Dragon Mantle's been okay. Mary Bard's Financier, less good, but playable. I think we'd probably take Ash. I mean, we could try to lean into a blue-white deck. I mean, we'd have the Twins and Hilda, but man... Picking up nothing that taps in our first pack and everything just seems like a bad idea when we have clear signs that red-white is as open as it is, which I think continues here. So, yeah, I mean, there's like a bunch of good red-white cards here. I'd love the Acolyte, the Casket, Cut In, Edgewall Pack, and Torch the Tower. I think we take Torch. You know, it's just too good. It kills so many things that are more expensive than it that the tempo it gives you is amazing. Okay, here's another Ash. All right, sorry, Twining Twins. I think we've decided red-white is where we're going. Yeah, right now we have 0 ways to trigger this because we have to do non-combat damage to an opponent. So yeah. Okay. We don't have that many rats. And I think the Daredevil... I mean, we do need more 2s, kind of. And this does trigger... what's it called? Celebration. I guess maybe I'll take it. We could use... We need more 2s in this deck. I mean, we have an okay number, but... The Daredevil is not really a 2 as much as I like it. So I think we'll take the Sage. And the Ratter doesn't look like it's going to do much in our deck. Okay, well, there's a pretty late Witch Stalker Frenzy. I wouldn't hate Edgewall in, but it's pretty hard to pass Witch Stalker Frenzy. So yeah, I wouldn't hate finding a way to splash black for the Shepherd, but if we don't, it's not a big deal. Wow. Yeah, okay. Raging Battle Mouse it is. A little surprised red is this open. So the Catapult does work really well with our Virtue, but it's not very good in our deck. I mean, we're an aggro deck, of course. And Battle Mouse gives us another really good card. Really good 2-drop. All right, we'll take a Guide now. It's not a complete disaster. I could consider this Guide. You know, it's not terrible, and it is a 2-drop. But I think we'll take 2 and Veil Guide. I mean, and that one would let us occasionally cast... Cleave Shadows here, but I'll take a Skewer Slinger here. Man, the reason I haven't posted draft videos in a while is because I've had this cough that you've noticed I have, I'm sure. It's mostly gone, but it's still showing up. I like the Veteran a lot. You know, a 1-mana 2/1's always nice in your aggro decks and has a nice ability. I wouldn't hate Mary Bards, and here we'll take one. I would consider the Grotto if I wasn't looking to play a bunch of 1 and 2 drops. And it's not that big of a deal if we can't cast the Shepherd's ability. Yeah, we'll take a Merry Bards here. It's a late Sweet Tooth Witch. Genealogist is a pretty good card, too. Kindled Heroism. Okay. So, I do like Archon's Glory. We could definitely use more tricks. Like, I usually, if I'm in this deck, I like to have a couple 1-mana tricks. We do have tricks attached to our Daredevils, which is okay, but that said, it's kind of hard to take it over something like the Shepherd or Grasp of Fate or Harried Spearguard. Like, all of these are pretty good. The double white on this gives me a little pause. Like, that does really matter in Limited, especially if we're going to be playing like a 16-land red-white aggro deck. So I think I just take another Shepherd here. Okay, so here's an Archon's Glory. I think I do take it here. I do like Witch's Mark. Armory Mice is okay. Everything that has 1 toughness that costs more than 1 mana is kind of at a disadvantage in this format, though. There's too many 1-mana ways or 2-for-1 ways for your opponent to just kill them. I mean, I'm not saying it's unplayable, just worse than it looks. But yeah, I think we'll take an Archon's Glory over a Witch's Mark. Another Shepherd. It's making me really want to have a random... Oh, I guess I do have Grabby Giant, so every now and then I might fire off the Shepherd's ability. Return Triumphant. It's not bad. It's really good with Ash, getting her back and triggering Celebration single-handedly. It's pretty sweet. But it just feels like another Shepherd makes more sense to me. I like Gingerbread okay too, but... Alright. Probably take Grand Ball Guest. You know, these are all fine, but this is definitely better. The Ranger would be better in some decks, but ours isn't going to be able to rummage that often, and I'd rather have a thing that's a 3/3 Tramplers sometimes than a 2-mana 2/2 with an ability that doesn't matter much. All right, so here's another treasure. I'm definitely taking it. Also triggers Celebration. It means our Shrouded Shepherd's adventure side can be online. We're probably not playing the Clothier in the end. We're still like a very red deck overall. Yeah, this is just going to end up being removal, basically. It is kind of funny with Impact Tremors, I guess, huh? All right, interesting pack here. We've got Flick a Coin. This is one of those things that makes X1s bad in the format because it kills it, gives you a treasure, draws you a card. Harried Spearguard is a nice 1-drop. I'm sort of leaning towards Flick. It gives us another way to fire off the other side of this, which I think is good. I mean, being able to cleave shadows sometimes is definitely valuable, so Flick a Coin it is. Light Blade's not really that good in this kind of deck. You know, we've passed a bunch of them. It's better if you're in a control deck. You know, removal that can't get a blocker out of the way, is bad. I mean, it can kill blockers, but your creature's already blocked, if you know what I mean. So, I guess I'll take Besotted Knight. Another Belligerent to the ball. Yeah, okay. We definitely picked the right lane in this draft. At least, I mean, maybe white's not crazy open, but red certainly is. Well, Spearguard. Seems like black might have been really open with the Sweet Tooth Witches going around. Probably don't end up playing this guide. Take this for the gems, because we're not playing Slumbering Keep Guard. So yeah, we ended up with 3 ways to make treasure, which, you know, has its uses. I'm pretty happy to pick up a late Witch's Mark, too. And this coming back as well. We could almost go mono red. I don't know that we want to, but wow. Lots and lots of playable cards late in packs in red. If only there were an incentive in this format for going like hardcore mono red, but there's not really. We could get pretty freaking close though. Like, yeah, I mean, just cut. We're not going to end up doing this, but I guess we have the 2 ashes. You know, that makes it a little harder. It's pretty crazy. We could cut down on the number of white cards we play. It would make our mana better, but we do have some good ones. Like, I could maybe not run Unassuming Sage. I mean, maybe this is all we do. The only awkward thing about it, like, in terms of sort of splashing, is that we'd like to be able to play this on turn 2. You know, we do have a bunch of other 2-drops, but yeah, we'd like to be able to play Ash and the Shepherd, so we can't cut down our lands, like, hardcore here. Like, we can't, you know, can't run, like, 4 planes and have it work out for us. I think we kind of need to go 8 and 8, just so we have, you know, since we have 5 white 2-drops. So, yeah. There's some other things to cut. So, how often are you going to rummage? You might just be our worst 2-drop in this particular deck. Sometimes, you know, basically never. We do have the Daredevils, I guess, but the Skewer Slinger is not great either. Merry Bards might be our worst 3, but it does trigger Celebration. Still, it's probably okay to cut it. All right. Okay, so I think this is our deck. Pretty straightforward red-white aggro deck. All right. Well, we didn't get a 1-drop, but we don't really have a 3-drop either, I guess, for that matter. But it's an okay hand nonetheless. I mean, we have Torch the Tower. I guess that's kind of a 1-drop. You kind of hope they don't play something you desperately want to kill on turn 1, but do I fire off Torch the Tower? I mean, it's kind of tempting to hold back for Shrouded Shepherd in a world where my opponent plays a 1/1 on turn 1, and I do have a Giant, so next turn I could make the Treasure instead of anything else, but we're an aggro deck. I don't really think that's what we're supposed to do. It's tempting, but I don't think it's the right thing to do. So we will just go ahead and kill this. All right, well, now we do have a shot at maybe, if I had this in my hand, I might not have torched at all. But yeah. Because now I could cast the Giant and then this next turn. But I really wanted to get on board on turn 2, and this was the only way we had to do it, so. Alright, she is cooped up. Well, I think we just play Belligerent now. Okay. So. Options. I can kill this thing with Shrouded Shepherd. I can also Witch's Mark, plus make a treasure, attack for 4. Yeah. I think I'm just going to make a treasure and Shrouded Shepherd and attack for 3. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So next turn we can like play the Shepherd plus Witch's Mark to get Celebration going. Among us, we have other options too. If I had held on to the Shepherd, man, something else I could have killed. Sad. Alright, so we are going to Witch's Mark here. Okay. I think we play Spear Guard now. Go to combat. Give this Menace. So, if they have a way to put a token on this, it's not going to be great for us. Because then it'll become like a 4/4 lifelink, which obviously does a reasonable job of disrupting this race. I guess I should have played this Plains. I kind of wanted to bluff, but if I'd held on to my Plains, I could have played both of these next turn. If I hadn't, if I also draw a land, I mean these are all. Now if I draw a land, it's going to feel kind of bad. Okay, well, I can live with that. Doesn't get rid of the roll token, so. That does. Yeah, that's a big swing. Attack us for 8. Go up to 12 themselves. Oof. There's our virtue. Well. Actually, they go up to 17. Yeah, that was a beating of a turn, wasn't it? So. Guess I'm going to attack for 5. It does feel awful that I could have slow rolled the adventure here. And if I had, like, we'd be in much better shape. If they have removal here, we kind of lose now after having such a good start. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much dead. We'd have to draw removal. We do have reach, so that's nice, but... And we will trade for the Courtier, of course. Kind of have to. It was a pretty nasty couple of turns out of our opponent. Well. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I think we just take the 3. Okay. Things we can do here. There are many. So let's play the Shepherd. If I attack with all 3 of these and use this trick, I mean, they have to block 1 or they're dead. And they can't kill me on the backswing right now. So, yeah, I think we'll put the buff here and attack with everything. Be cool if they just decide to take it, if they're that brave, and we can just kill them with the trick. Kind of doubt it, but they do have to block with a really important creature no matter what they do here, so I think it's a worthwhile attack. Plus it has this upside of they just take it and they die, which I can't imagine they take it. It kind of seems like they're thinking about it, though. Does kind of seem like they're thinking about it. We can actually kill them 2 different ways if they take it. Either with our virtue or the trick. Yeah, there they go. What do they do? It is pretty funny we have two different ways to kill them in our hand if they take it. Yeah. I think that's what I would do, is I'd block the Spear Guard and force the trick to be used there. I mean, it's a kind of a tough situation, I guess, but I think maybe they're considering blocking with the Archon and just keeping the Courtier around to gain life. That's what I keep coming back to. Is that really? Yeah, there they go. All right. So then they go back up to 8. We get a rat token. Now what happens? So if they just have another roll token, we die here. I mean, that's the bad news. You're gonna give it double strike and buff it or something? That would be gross. Are we gonna get there? Because we kill... We can kill this. Play Shepherd to buff something. 4, 6, 7. And block. Yeah, that should kill them. I guess I have a couple ways to kill them, because I can also just play Shepherd Daredevil. Give Menace to something. Yeah, they all work. They both work, because they'll only be able to block... Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead. We'll go with the kill Minecart Daredevil. Play Shepherd. Attack with everything. Got a little sketchy there for a second, but we managed to pull it out in the end. That Archon was scary, but drawing the Daredevil when we did really changed things, because it let us just swing with everything and force a block. That was key. Okay, well, pretty good hand. Cheap removal, bunch of 2-drops. And drawing a 1-drop makes it even better. So if our opponent leaves 2 mana up here, there's a good chance they have the blue. Okay, they don't. That's good. That's good news. Alright, so we play Ash, attack for 3. More mana would be nice, but, you know. Maybe about to bounce Ash, but I kind of don't hate that if that's how they spend their turn. No, Root Rider Fawn. Okay. Well. Attack them with Ash. We're not doing a great job of really pressuring them because of we're getting our choke choked on mana a little bit, but we're doing okay. They are at 12 after all. So what we don't want is Hamlet Glutton to come down and gain them a bunch of life. That'll be very hard for us to beat in this game. It's hard to beat in every game. That's like the reason that, you know, green decks aren't completely helpless. Well, that's pretty good. I can kill it, though. Torch the tower is like the only way to at least at lower rarities, to get rid of it. Looks like they're thinking about doing something else. Okay, they don't. Too bad Ash is legendary, huh? Alright, so let's go ahead. Do that. See what happens. Nice. And we can't play Ash, but playing the Shepherd here is sort of like playing a haste creature, so I'll take it. I did this because if they have torched the tower, or okay, well that ended up not working out the way I wanted it to. Oh, we do get celebration thanks to it, so it could be worse. I wanted to buff that because I was thinking, you know, if they have torched the tower, I'd rather put them in a spot where they like have to kill the spear guard than killing this. But when it's you know, an adventure like that that does one, it ended up not working out very well. The celebration thing was a nice consolation prize, though. So Hamlet Glutton is on the board. I mean, it's not yet, but it could be. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. If I can draw a 4th land, I can play both of these and buff her again. Okay, I did not draw a 4th land, but I think we still play her. Kraken for... Oh yeah, it's actually lethal. I think we play her, yeah, because it's lethal. Mm-hmm. We do play her. Not much to think about there. For some reason I was thinking my creature was tapped down and not untapped as a 1/1. Well, that is a bad hand. We will be mulliganing for obvious reasons. kind of the inverse now, but we will keep this one. No 2-drop, which is, I mean, we do get to make a treasure or whatever. What do I put back? I don't really think it's a mountain when we so desperately need 3 mana. I think maybe it's... I mean, it could be Witch's Mark. It does dig us deeper and everything, but we're not going to be casting it anytime soon. I mean, I could cast it. If I draw another land, I could cast it on turn 2, and then it's okay. But if you're not getting the roll token, it's a lot worse. Yeah, let's put the Mark back. Because right now, I can do this on turn 2 and play the Pie Wielder on turn 3, which is perfectly fine. Then Red Cap Thief will give it double strike. Yeah. Didn't draw a Harried Spearguard on turn 1 that time. It's unfortunate. Oh, there's white mana. Could just play the Giant now in turn 3, which could be worth it. Especially because it looks like they're probably not playing anything this turn. So I kind of like that idea. Just playing a big creature. Hey, there's a 1-drop. So it is tempting now to play like one of these celebration creatures instead because we can trigger it so easily right now. And I could play like Belligerent and Embereth Veteran next turn, Redcap Thief, or Pie Wielder and Embereth Veteran. Yeah. I think we'll go Belligerent, Embereth Veteran. Too bad it doesn't give haste. Yeah, that's annoying. Ooh. Hello there. Okay, so now we can go Redcap Thief into Ash for quite the spicy turn. So we'll give this the Menace since it would die. That turned into a strong turn in a hurry. The bad news is our opponent can gain life and whatnot. Plus the fact that they just like took that like it was nothing worries me. Oh yeah. So Princess Takes Flight is gross when you have the combos with it, and usually if you're playing it you do. And what I mean by that is you have cards that bounce it to your hand. Or that. Or you bargain. Alright. Got some interesting options here. So, if I put a Young Roll on Redcap Thief, plus play Shrouded Shepherd, I end up with, whatchamacallit again? Celebration. But they have a 3/3 and a 1/1. So it's not like the most amazing thing in the world. It is pretty good though. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So put this there. Play Shrouded Shepherd. So they can double block the Thief, but that's kind of okay. Like, given the situation. Yeah, that's what they do. We will kill the land. Drop them to 5. So this will be a 2/2 now. Or 3/3. It's 1+1. They do have a lot of gas left, and yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if they have removal, they may be able to stabilize here. Well, that's a pretty good draw, though. Question is whether I should just play my Giant first, though. Yeah. Let's do that. Got to find a way to do 5 more damage. Well, more like 8, because they can gain life. Okay. You know, it's a mythic and everything, but it's not the scariest one around. Ramps their mana. Alright, so I think we play the Shepherd. Question is whether I buff Giant and attack with it, Or buff this and attack with both. Either way, they have to block. This is probably better. If only I had a trick. Yeah. Drop him to 4. Play Pie Wielder. We are out of gas officially. Oh no. Okay, gonna be very hard to win now. With the Gruff triplets on board. Do I have a way to win against Gruff triplets? Well, this does do 2 damage to any target. If only I could sneak in 2 damage here somehow. But I don't think they're going to let me. But that is kind of our hope right now, is that we find a way to get them to overcommit and get in with one of our 2 power creatures plus Virtue. Well, that's going to make things harder. Yeah, I think we probably lose. I mean, it's very hard to beat Gruff triplets. If only Double Strike counted here, I could do 2 to this and then kill it, but... They might still... Like, if they attack with all 3 of these here, we can still sneak lethal in, so... all of these, rather. Looks like they're too smart for that, though, unfortunately. Oh, I wonder if I should kill the tortoise. Now I'd be dead on the backswing. I'm gonna say kill the tortoise and then swing for, swing with both of these to drop them to 2. Do we have any Ashes left in our deck? We do. So Ash can win us the game because she has haste. But she wins us the game either way, so I probably shouldn't fire this off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and fire it off. Yep. We are dead. Had to draw like the exact right card there to have a hope. We had kind of a slow start there. I mean, we didn't get going until like turn 3 or whatever, and then we did do a bunch of damage on that turn, but once they, yeah, I mean, Welcome to Sweet Tooth is so good against the aggro decks in this format, too. Okay. I like it. So turn 2 Ash, maybe into Red Cap Thief, depends on how greedy I decide to be. I'm going to be a little greedy since they don't have anything on board yet and play Belligerent of the Ball before I play Red Cap Thief. So then next turn I get both of these triggers. Okay. So, yeah. We will play Red Cap Thief, and then I guess the Shrouded Shepherd, yeah, the Shrouded Shepherd Adventure is pretty good here. Just gets the blocker completely out of the way, and we attack for 7, so... Okay. So, getting rid of the token's extra good, too, because if they have Hamlet Glutton, they would have been able to play it with Bargain. And Fonzbane Troll is not a lot of fun. But we can... Oh, no, we don't have double white. Darn. If we had double white here, it would be pretty easy for us to do lethal. As is, we can't even trigger Bargain this turn. But we can play the Shepherd. So we still have Minecart Daredevil's Trick. I guess maybe using it here makes the most sense, because then they can all... Yeah. So if they take both of these, they die. Yeah, so they die. Kind of had to win that turn because they were going to untap and start fighting things. But luckily we did. Not our best hand. I mean, it's not a disaster either. We have a 2-drop at least, and then tricks and stuff. I mean, I think we keep it. But, yeah. Yeah, I think we want to play 2-drop when we have tricks in our hand. Even if we can't get value out of the ETB here. So we're going to attack, use the trick if we have to. Play... What do I play? Because I could just play the Veteran, but... But I could also play the Adventure here. We'd probably play the Veteran. Not really worth trading. Again, when we have tricks in our hand, like blocking when I don't have mana up. Interesting. So I guess they go after our Shepherd. You don't really want to go after the Veteran because I can sack it in response. Boy. Alright, so... Okay. Not liking how things look. That's for sure. Yeah. Flick a coin does not look very good here. Alright, well, let's attack with both of these again. Do I want to use Witchstalker Frenzy after I do? Let's think about that. I feel like it's probably just better to leave up mana for the Daredevil in this situation. Yeah, well, that ends up working out pretty well. No, it doesn't, actually. Just kidding. Alright, so we'll just let the trade happen. Even though it's not really a trade because they're going to bounce this to their hand or whatever, but, you know. I could kill this with Witch Stalker Frenzy. But do I want to? I mean, probably. We kind of need to buy ourselves time, as sad as that is. In this, you know, in our aggro deck, but we need to find more mana or we're not going to be able to win. Oh, nice. Who goes away this time? I mean, these Daredevils are lining up pretty well. I guess it's Pie Wielder, probably. Hey, look, a third land. How about that? Okay, so let's attack. Yeah, I'd probably just play out a Daredevil now. Let's hope they don't have another spell Sworn Coven. Scorn. It's a lot of glass caskets. Yeah, that doesn't really work. Wait. If we make a treasure and then play Ash, that's a pretty good turn. Because we get Celebration on both of them. Yeah. Pretty nice. Drop them to 6. Don't know that we're going to be able to finish the job, but that was a nice turn. Of course, if they sack Hopeful Vigil to Scry here, I think we feel pretty good about our chances. Darn. That makes me feel less good about our chances. That's for sure. Wah, wah. So... I mean, I can attack with Ash and use the trick. If they block with Spell Scorn Coven, I can kill it, but I lose both creatures, and then I have a 2/2, and they have 2 2/2s. I guess maybe that's our best bet, and maybe they just take it. I wouldn't hate, I guess, if they double block it either. That would be okay. Not as good, though. But kind of think it's what we need to do here. Yeah, like I said, this isn't as good, but I think I can live with it. Wouldn't hate if they just took 3, obviously, since our deck has lots of ways to sneak in some damage to close it out. Dang, they are real worried. I wish I could kill everything, but, you know. We're just going to kill the big... We're going to kill the Sarah Angel. Do I need to trade? Am I in a spot like that? I hope not. Glass casket number 3. Oh, gosh. It does sort of feel like I might consider trading here. This is kind of a problem when we're at this low of life. So, I'm going to go ahead and block. Okay. Alright. Not looking great. Although I guess playing Grabby Giant is just, like, pretty good right now. So, just drawing a land would be okay. We can't, though, of course. We'll play the Belligerent. Blocks better. Yeah. So they tag us for 5. Now even playing the Giant doesn't do us any good. Sad. But it happens. Okay. Not as many 1s and 2s as I would like, but, you know, got early removal. We can use Witch's Mark in a pinch. Hopefully we just draw a 1 or a 2 drop, and I don't need a Witch's Mark on turn 2. Uh-oh. That thing is busted, especially in black-red, and we don't have any way to deal with it, so I'm not loving that. Alright, so let's play our Pie Wielder. Yeah, not great. That is not great for us. Do I Witch's Mark? I don't think so. Now I kind of wish I did. Alright. So let's play Redcap Thief here. Do I also want to Witch's Mark, throw this land away, make this a 3/4? Those seem pretty good. Could just put it here to do more damage this turn, too. Yeah, more damage this turn seems pretty nice. Yeah, we could have really used one of those. We passed one at some point. If I had 1 red mana up there, I mean, we couldn't because of what our lands looked like on the previous turn, because we drew the plains after Witch's Mark, but would have been amazing to kill the Conceited Witch before the trigger mattered. So far, they haven't done anything scary with Goblin Bombardment, but it doesn't take much. I could kill this by firing both of these off, but that seems like a bad plan. Uh-oh. So now things are getting interesting with Bombardment, unfortunately for us. Oh, boy. Starting to consider firing both off. Because then, at least we're not dealing... Like, none of these creatures are that scary. You know, apart from the whole Goblin Bombardment thing. Yeah, alright. So they'll sack that to do 1 to me. Goblin Bombardment, incidentally, is really good with Virtue of Courage. Haven't seen our Battle Mouse today. Unfortunately, they can just kill it by sacking a... I wonder if I should have just played this. But yeah, they'll sack their rat to kill my mouse, I'm sure. They don't have to do it at any... That's the thing. That's one of the things that makes it so good, is you can just do it whenever. Uh-oh. So yeah, sack this. Well, they won't actually get a token, though, because it's only non-tokens. But they do sack it. They don't get Celebration, though. Okay. So probably better to send in the 4/5 here. Yeah, I mean, either way... Yeah, so let's play... Keeping the 3/3 back is better, and attacking with a 5/5 isn't that much better than a 4/5 on this board. I mean, if they take it, we do 1 less damage, but I don't know that they would have taken it if it was the belligerent coming at them. They probably would have just double blocked in a way that gave them a rat token. So, you know, it's not really what I wanted. Right now, Goblin Bombardment can dish out 6 damage if you're keeping score at home. Because each of these they sack makes a... does it only trigger once? No. Yeah, so they can do 6 damage with it right now. I really need a way to kill Totentons. I don't really see a point in playing our Virtue until we reach a point where we can trigger Celebration with it. But every time they play something, they're adding 2 more direct damage to the board. So with Totentons and Goblin Bombardment in play, things are not good. I guess I'm going to block. I mean, it's not a good block, obviously, but it does mean a little bit less damage, at least. Okay, so Spear Guard, Virtue, give Redcap Thief Menace. God, Goblin Bombardment's busted. I mean, it's good in, like, every deck, too, is what's really gross. So, it's like... Oh, God. What a beating. Okay. But it gets really good if you have Totentons in play. We do have removal somewhere. But not here. I think this deck, I mean, obviously we're going to go 3 and 3. Okay. Yeah, we're dead. Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, so we went 3 and 3 in the end. We definitely underachieved, I think. I mean, our deck was really good overall. I would have expected at least 5 wins, but, you know. And we saw that. I mean, we saw the games where it did what it was supposed to do, but then we had a couple that didn't go so well, but that's okay. Well, that'll do it for this draft video. I'll see you all in the next one.